What's up, board game people? It's another good week in the news with quite a few projects launching, quite a few projects heading to production or even fulfillment, and deep dives into some long-awaited features of games. Thank you to all my Patreons. You're simply the best, and I cannot thank you enough for your support, advice, and kind words. Live on crowdfunding now, we have The Last Spell with less than 2 days remaining. With an impressive array of minis, a good dose of add-ons, and stretch goals galore, the game has become quite the value if you're interested. The Assassin's Creed Brotherhood of Venice Apocalypse expansion has just about 2 days left on its latest run on Kickstarter. The expansion looks solid, with enough new mechanics and role updates to elevate the series even further while still keeping everyone in the same core ecosystem. Sadly, the daily reveals have been a bit bland and made it hard to stay truly excited and tune in every day. Studium No Exit has 2 weeks remaining on Kickstarter and is marching right along despite some criticism and a bit of a rocky launch. I'm keeping a close eye on this one and hope to share more soon. Witchcraft has more than tripled their funding goal on Gamefound and is receiving high praise from those who've had the pleasure of getting their hands on a copy. If you're looking for a great solo game, I think this is one to check out. Fresh on crowdfunding this week, we have some amazing new projects. First up is the big one. Stalker is taken off and isn't showing any signs of slowing down. Knowing Awakened Realms, they have plenty left up their sleeves, and I'm anxiously awaiting the all-in price for this one. Phantom Epoch relaunched this week on Kickstarter and is funded and already passed a few stretch goals, granting a spoiler-free digital presentation of the various missions you'll embark on, and 2 new adversaries. Next up are inserts designed by Game Trays. Another entry in the sci-fi genre is launched on Gamefound. Firefly has gotten a huge anniversary edition. This is a grail game for some collectors out there, and it seems now is the time to grab a copy if ever. Finally, Grim.Rack is rebranded as MixRack and launched on Gamefound. While a bit on the expensive side, the rack looks great, and the functionality they've built in is amazing. Now, on to the news. Still hungry for more of that fantastic ISS Vanguard art? Well, you're in luck. We're starting this week's news report with some eye candy courtesy of the ISS team. The process for checking of language versions is still underway. 3 rulebooks have been checked and are in the draft file stage. French and Polish rulebooks are currently being looked at. The German, Italian, and Spanish versions are ready for first looks and linked in the update. Dungeons of Doria has some good news and a teeny bit of bad news to share. The color proofs are in and the colors are spot on. The bad news is that some items were doubled and others were missing. They'll have to delay the start of manufacturing by about a week and wait on another set of proofs to make sure everything's perfect. White copy photos are being shown and it looks like the insert was made to last. They've been putting the insert and the box through its paces, and sleeve cards fit. Vertical storage also seems to work within reason. Check update number 50 if you're looking for card counts and sizes for sleeving. It's so good to finally be seeing solid progress, actual plastic, and even some print materials come out of Ludus Magnus Studios. Nova Aetas Renaissance is catching up to Black Rose Wars Rebirth, and production is coming along nicely. They are currently completing the English and Italian language drafts and will be kicking off printing soon. It's been a long journey, but the time is drawing near and the first wave of content will be seeing the light of day. The French, German, and Spanish translations are nearing completion, but they will need to go through the lengthy proofing process before being ready to print. This brings about some good news or bad news depending on what version you're receiving. The English and Italian versions will be shipping as soon as they're through production, with the other 3 languages shipping at a later date. English and Italian rulebooks are available on their web app today. They're showing that Medina Play was a hit, and the game is certainly looking fantastic. CMON has pushed out a handy guide for assembling Galactus the Devourer should you be having difficulty figuring out exactly how to fit the overly large pegs into the overly large holes. Believe it or not, you can actually get this wrong. Don't force things, the big guy's a bit tender. The final golden update for Frosthaven has been published. Kickstarter fulfillment has been completed. Pre-orders for 2022 are complete, except for 4 add-on items going to the Asia region. 3 years and 136 updates, they're excited to put a wrap on this project just in time to move on to their next huge lineup, launching on Backerkit in a little over a week. Let's look in on the latest from Tanares Adventures. In the US and Canada, fulfillment is complete. In the EU, things are moving at a good pace again, and only 450 shipments are left to go out. In the UK, the container is due at the hub on June 13th. In Australia, shipping will resume shortly to get those last pieces out. In Asia and the rest of the world, VFI is continuing shipping. For Brazil, the ship will dock on July 7th. On the Tanares Ultimate side of things, they've reduced the returning backer bundle to $89. A draft of the project is up on Kickstarter and linked in the update. Stretch goals will be included with the update kit, and stretch goals will be discussed in the next update. In Tanares RPG land, the player's guide is complete and should be made available soon. Next up, they'll be putting the sourcebook into beta testing. There's a quick shipping update for Escape from Stalingrad Z. Asia shipping is complete. Australia and New Zealand is 100% shipped. In the EU and UK, shipping is at 60%, and the Canada and US see shipping at about 50%. I got mine and everything's looking great. I look forward to hearing everyone's thoughts on the game. This week we're getting some good looks at the actual mass production minis for Destinies Witchwood. They have some highly questionable scale backgrounds on display, but at least you can get a look at the expected quality. Next up for the game is printing of paper components, which should start very soon. They're stating that at this point, the August deadline isn't going to be met, and they hope to have everyone their pledges by the end of the fourth quarter. It's that time again. Time for another boss spotlight for Resident Evil. But first, a quick production update. Well, production is complete and everything is being packed up into boxes and being readied for your game tables. Packing should take around a fortnight to complete, and the games will be loaded onto boats and set out to sea. This update spotlights the Awakened Tyrant. The Tyrant we will be facing is actually 3 different bosses depending on when it's encountered. The Tyrant is unstoppable. Firearms just don't seem to make much of an impact on the big fellow as he just lumbers towards his target. The Tyrant is also unique in that he appears at the beginning and not the end of a scenario, so even after dealing with him, players still must complete the scenario. Spend too long evading him, and you might just run out of time and luck. This week is all about production samples, and 20 Strong is getting in on the fun. We got lots of shiny pictures of the production boxes, and they note that there are a few small changes needed, but they're fairly certain that fulfillment will be direct from Asia to you, skipping the boats and hubs. So while they may not fulfill this month, they've shaved off a significant portion of the fulfillment timeline. They're still awaiting pictures of the final dice so that they can be approved and production can begin in earnest. Hopefully, we'll get a look at them and more of the cards in the next update. For backers of the Omni Modular Display case, Backerkit surveys will go out this week, and the files should be ready for delivery on June 25th as planned. Want more good news? Yes, please. HexploreIt Fall of the Ancients has grown since the end of the campaign. What was once a lowly side quest has now risen to become a totally new way to end the epic campaign. With this growth, they've now expanded the book to a full 9 scenarios. Results are also in for the community-chosen encounters. The winners are the Snapdragon, the Rune Trap, Artemon's Chosen, Tomageist, Spiderkin Horde, Cursed Keeper, Devourer, and the Tiger Lily. If you have early ship products, get your address in now. You have until the end of June. Delivery of early shipment items is going to happen in quarter 4 of this year. As of now, Fall of the Ancients is 95% written, 90% designed, and 30% illustrated. The book clocks in at around 700 pages, which is 200 more than they estimated. There's a lot going on in the SAS Rogue Regiment world, but sadly little forward movement on the game itself. It's convention season and UKGE has taken a chunk out of their time. Playtesting the final few missions continues, and the old progress chart has been updated a bit. White box samples are in for Silver Coin Age of Monster Hunters, so now they can begin getting the box in tip-top shape so it can contain all this goodness. Scenario design has been the focus of this month. They're hoping to be able to share more details in the next update, but they do say that the community-chosen scenario, Enigma, is currently being designed. Discussion continues with multiple localization partners, and the rulebook's been getting some in-depth love, so perhaps they can make that available soon. This week has been all about the art for Awakened Realms, and honestly, I'm good with that. The latest art dump is from Tainted Grail's Kings of Ruin, and I must say that Avalon has never looked better. Development of the game is progressing on schedule. The core game is finished and testing is underway. Another round of external community tests will be starting soon. Later this summer, we'll be getting a comprehensive look at the near-final version of Kings of Ruin. OrcQuest Warpath production is well underway and on track for delivery in October. The update is pretty short and sweet, but we do get some shots of the masses of miniatures and a look at the player aid. Zerywia has once again had to change shipping companies. Shipping is resuming for Canada and Australia. As soon as shipping is complete there, they'll be shipping everything else to everywhere else. They've upgraded the Agmore model, and they're cooking up some surprises to apologize for all the delays. They will be discussed in the next update. Production continues to hum along nicely for the Oathsworn reprint. The first mass production copies are in, and they've all been approved, and we get to see the Oathstone marker and the metal dice in this update. The Pledge Manager will officially close near the end of July. Last chance to hop in. A new update is due out in the next few weeks for the English Companion app, so be on the lookout. For Kingdoms Forlorn, it's time to peer into the deep fog. Let's just hope nothing stares back too intently. Knights may have access to abilities to allow traversal of the fog successfully, and to help them avoid the gaze of anything sinister. The deep fog offers a risky but sometimes game-changing alternate route for your knights to take. The fog can take you to any undiscovered kingdom tile, while allowing you to gather clues at the cost of only a single time unit. The path through the fog will consist of 4 to 6 fog cards. Each card has a value, and to pass through unscathed and without attracting attention, you'll need to have a sum of exactly 4 showing on the cards. As stated, there are some ways the knights can mitigate the risks, abilities and gear being 2 methods. The Gambler's Chest for the Kingdom Death Monster 1.5 campaign is officially production complete. Final assembly is happening now, and it'll soon be on ships and headed across the globe. Estimated delivery is currently set for August 2023. The chest expansion is comprised of 3 boxes, and a flute box containing all of the sprues for the miniatures, a box with all the rulebooks, cards, and game assets, and an outer tuck box wrapped around them for shipping. The box itself is another beautiful black-on-black affair, and should fit right in on the shelf next to its big brother, the core box. The hard plastic showdown board is in tooling, and the delivery for the board has officially been pushed to Q4 of this year. We got a wonderful project health update showing off all of the progress on the unfinished items for the 1.5 campaign. This update wraps up with a huge Q&A session that you should definitely check out. And that's going to be a wrap for this week. A little slower week, but a huge one for new launches. June isn't over, so much more is coming our way in the coming weeks. I'll be back soon with new videos, a month in review for May, and more. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing and helping our channel to reach more gamers like yourself. Thank you to everyone watching, commenting, and supporting the channel on Patreon. Our first milestone has been reached, getting some new wireless mics for the channel. Next up is a huge piece of equipment that will be the core of this channel moving forward. If you have a few dollars and would like to contribute, check out my Patreon page linked below. Every dollar helps. Have a great week, and play something with a bit of mystery to it.